Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Thronson with AMX International, and today we're going to take a look at J.D. Edwards EnterpriseOne Requisition Self-Service. What Requisition Self-Service does is it simplifies the employee requisitioning process and frees up purchasing departments for more strategic tasks by putting requisitioning tasks in the hands of employees. Using Requisition Self-Service approvals can be routed automatically to the appropriate approvers, which allows your purchasing staff to focus on procuring products or services that require special handling. I'm going to be using two different users today. The first one will be the requisitioner, and that's Chester Ebby. After that, Chester Ebby's boss, Jody Ellis, will go ahead and approve the requisition. So the flow we'll go through is we'll sign on, enter a requisition, review that requisition, then we'll sign off, sign back in as Jody Ellis, the manager. She will get an email. She'll go ahead, review the requisition, approve it. Then we'll convert that requisition to a purchase order. And our final step will be to sign back in as Chester Ebby and do what's called a desktop receipt. And the desktop receipt will automatically book the accrual instead of having to route paperwork throughout the company the old-fashioned way. So let's go ahead and sign on as Chester Ebby. Once we sign on as Chester Ebby, we're going to go to Chester's favorites area, and this is the menu options that we want to look at for this particular demo. First being, of course, the requisition entry. Once I come within the requisition entry screen, these are set up to be very easy to use for users that have had no exposure to EnterpriseOne before. So basically, I'm in the screen. It's already defaulted in who I am, where I work out of. I'm going to put a title here. We're going to get a shirt and service. I can also add additional drawings or justifications by clicking this justification link. In this case, I can see that all of my products are presented to me in a commodity type format. So I want to go after a workwear product, and what I'm looking for is a uniform. As you can see, these commodity codes are set up with what I can go ahead and order. So here's the different sizes, and it all happens to be in the color black. And also the supplier, and this could be multiple suppliers if there were multiple choices. We're just going to go ahead and select our medium black shirt. It comes and fills in this particular area, showing us the commodity, the description. It defaults in its pricing. We'll go ahead and add this to our shopping cart. And as you can see down below, we all have this now in our shopping cart, one shirt. I also want to order a service. And in this case, I want to get a consulting service from an attorney, so I'm just going through the commodity tree structure. We're going to go ahead and grab legal services. And as you can see, in this instance, we have just a vendor that we can select. And in this case, our company wants us just to use this particular lawyer. So I'll go ahead and select that lawyer. What is it that I want to get done by the lawyer? We want them to review some documents. And the price we believe is going to be $500. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the cart also. If I move down, we can see that I have two items in my cart. Well, I want to specify that the review docs, I believe, is going to take 5 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a 5 there, and then we'll go ahead and submit this requisition. At the top, you can see it's assigned us a number, 5162. Let's go ahead and back out now, remembering that we're still signed in as Chester Ebby. So at any time, Chester can go ahead and review the status of his requisition. All he needs to know is that requisition number. So he's coming into his requisition inquiry screen, and once he's in the requisition inquiry screen, he can see different ways to inquire on his requisition. He could look at ones in a specific status, specific commodity code. We're just going to go ahead and key in our requisition number. I'll click Find. I can see there's the shirt and service. I can see it's been submitted, $535. It was for an Oxford shirt and also to review some docs, so a service and a product. And here I can see what the status is. If I click on Review Approvals, I can see that This is waiting to be approved by Jody Ellis, and she has not opened it yet. We can see the date it started and the end date once it's approved. There could also be expediting features built into the workflow tool so that if Jody does not answer it within a certain amount of time, it can be expedited. Let's close out of here now, and we'll sign off as Chester Ebby, and we'll come back in as the manager, Jody Ellis. So Jody is going to come in. She's going to look at the internal email. This could also come out to her Outlook email or Yahoo or Gmail, any type of MAFI-compliant email system. I'm coming into my Employee Work Center, and I'll see that this is broken into different folders, and the folder I want to look at is Acknowledgement Approvals. You can see here's that requisition that Chester had just entered, and it says here, Requisition Approval Required. So Jody, right from the email, can go in and review the requisition. So she comes in, she sees it's Requisition 5162 for shirt and service. This gives her a global view of it, $535. If she wants to see the detail, she can go ahead and click Review Requisition. She can see what he's ordered, and she's fine with that. So let's go ahead and approve this. Once I approve this, I can go ahead and add some notes if I care to. We're just going to go ahead and approve. Now that it's approved, if I look within my workspace here, I can see it's been removed from my work queue. So 5162 is no longer there. We're going to close out of our email, and we're going to go to what's called the Requisition Expediter. So that requisition is 5162OU is the document type. We want to now turn that into a purchase order. So this is where purchasing would come into play. If everything is up to par, meaning that the correct vendors were there and the pricing was there, this can get kicked off automatically to create a purchase order. In our demo instance here, I just want to show you the process manually. So I'm going to look up my requisition. I'm in the purchasing department. I can see that it's Requisition 5162, and it's going to two different suppliers. So we see the supplier numbers here. We can see that the description of the particular items or services and the two different vendors, so this will create two different purchase orders. I could go ahead and review this one more time before I generated those orders. For our demo purpose, we're just going to go ahead and click Generate Orders. The system will say, are you ready to generate two orders? We're going to say yes. So there'll be an order for Stover Supply, which is for the shirt, and for Ashford for the legal services. I can see that I have the two purchase order numbers that were created here. Now I'm going to sign off as Jody Ellis, and I'm going to come back in as Chester Ebby. And as I said when I first created that requisition as Chester, Chester doesn't really need to know the purchase order at all. All Chester needs to know is that requisition number. And you'll see on the inquiry screen as we sign back in. And the great thing about what we're going to go into next, which is desktop receiving, is Chester can go ahead and receive the items that he requisitioned. So specifically for services, if I have a temporary service, they give me a time card at the end of the week. In the old days, what would happen is I'd sign off on that time card, then I would send it over to AP. But then if I forgot to do that, AP would have to call me up before they could go ahead and book the entry. Plus, would they have forgotten to book that accrual? In this instance, as soon as that service takes place or I've received that shirt, myself as Chester Ebby, I can do the receiving right here. So this is showing Chester Ebby and what's outstanding as far as requisitions that Chester needs to receive. Well, there's my Oxford shirt and there's my legal services. I'm going to say that I did receive both of these. I will click Receive. Once I click Receive, it goes ahead and, in this case, updates the expense account and books the accrual account. So as you can see, that 5162 is now removed off our desktop receipts. In summary, J.D. Edwards EnterpriseOne Requisition Self-Service automates employee requisitioning through an easy self-service web shopping system. Employees create, manage, and track their own orders in an intuitive web interface, while purchasing retains central control. JD Edwards EnterpriseOne Requisition Self-Service ensures that purchasing policies and preferred suppliers and pricing agreements are reflected in every transaction. Self-sufficient, empowered employees make better and faster decisions while reducing routine purchasing inquiries. This frees procurement professionals to focus on more strategic and value-added tasks. JD Edwards EnterpriseOne Requisition Self-Service lets you streamline employee ordering, enforce spending policy, and reduce procurement cost. Thank you for joining me today to review JD Edwards EnterpriseOne Requisition Self-Service.